Hello, and welcome back to FRLT Tier 1. And tonight, it is a slightly different and a slightly sad race because it is the finale of the season. It is round number 10 as we come to Austria. As you can see, it is 4.318 kilometers, 2.683 miles, 10 turns, 3 dash zones down the pit straight. It is quite interesting to see, nonetheless. Quite a shorter track on the calendar. As you can see, we also have the calendar. We've now gone through the Netherlands, Bahrain, Great Britain, Qatar, Brazil, China, Brazil, Monza, China, Saudi Arabia, Imola, and this week, Austria for the final race of the season. As you already know, AMS have claimed the Constructors' Championship in season number 4 for Tier 1. Last race wasn't too good for them, though. P6 and P7 only going up to 235 points. SKG with the one and only 1-2 we've had so far this season. EVR dropped down to 3rd in the Constructors. The battle over 4th, though, is quite close, as XPG is just 14 points behind, and just 21 points behind that is SET in 6th. Also, the battle over 7th in the Constructors still going on. UFRT, VEL, and HRT still all in with a chance. As you can probably hear, I am currently under the weather. As you will be able to hear, I will be coughing multiple times during the stream, and if you don't like it, get out. No, I'm kidding. I'm excited for tonight. We've only got 14 drivers in so far. For some strange reason, we only seem to have we only seem to have 14, and I have no clue why, but I'm going to check who's missing. Okay, so neither LRs are in. Great. We're missing an XPG. We're missing an HRT as well. Missing a lot of people, actually. Yeah, we are. We're actually missing a lot of people. We've got one driver who's trying to join, but he hasn't added me, which is why we're currently one driver short from VL. Neither VL is in at the moment. Got a little bit of a problem there, of course, that we don't have anybody in we only have 14 in. No clue why we only have 14 in. We should be having more than that. And that's not good for me. Which is not great. Okay, let's get... Ooh, I think we should be getting the next 2 drivers in the next second. So just bear with me while we get in these final 2. This should be the 2 VEL drivers we should get in, and then we should have 16. I have no clue where the others are missing, because we haven't got either LRs in again. We've only got 1 HRT and 1 CS. That's where we're missing the 4 at the moment, which is it's not great at all. We're gonna I'll just see. We'll be going in about 3 minutes time, because we're still missing a couple of people for some utterly strange reason. Nobody seems to be wanting to join, which is really frustrating. Always frustrating when people aren't joining when they're supposed to be joining. We've got so we've got Marvin in now, so that's our 16th. So we should be getting a 17th at least. Let me have a look. Who's missing? Who is missing indeed? Oscar's missing. I know the LR driver has had pedal problems, so that's fine. Missing the hammer time as well. Yeah, so we're missing the hammer time at the moment. Yeah. He's gonna have to join through possibly his teammate, because we got a driver who's currently not in. But this is why I always say to drivers, please make sure you not necessarily are the first, but make sure that you're there a few minutes before, because then if there are any problems, we can sort it. So let's go. So others will just have to wait. So we're gonna have 17. We're missing 3. That's because we're missing LR. We're missing 3 drivers at the moment. That is because we're missing an HRT, an LR, and an XPG. Everybody should be readying up now, so we should be getting our 17th driver in the next few moments or during qualifying. And then we'll get straight onto the lovely, lovely race it is. I do apologise again for my terrible voice tonight. I do not like this. Hello, Ryan. Welcome to the stream. What? Oh my God, people ask this every week. A restart after quali. Is there a restart after quali? There isn't. There's no restart after qualifying. I say this every week. I get like 50 questions to this. It's like, read the rules, please. Please read the rules for once. Tonight's going to be an interesting one, though. Final race of the season. And, yeah, it's Austria as well, so it's complete chaos. So we're going to be getting into qualifying in the next few moments. Let's go to the track. Yeah, so of course, as we know, AMS have won the Constructors' Championship with, I wouldn't say ease. I'd say the first 5 races were really, I think the first 6 races were really close. I mean, they won 2 in the first 6 races, and they have won 2 more since then. But of course, it's still been pretty close for, I think, everybody. And I think everyone knows that, though. Let's see. We should be getting one more person in. He's not on my friend list, which is not great, which is why, like I said, I always tell drivers to do it earlier. Sorry about the poor screen. I'm having to type things like usual. First driver out of track is Baptiste Van Collier. I do not know. I probably butchered that name completely. And with a nasally tone, so even better. HRT. Does that just mean that the car looks weird? Let me quickly fix that, because that could be in my settings that the game's gone a little bit funny. I think the graphics have gone a little bit funny all of a sudden. Something's gone really strange. My apologies, everybody. Something's gone a little bit odd. I'm not sure what's gone wrong. What I'll do is I'll have a quick look as we go through. But we're going to go to on board with Baptiste as he heads up towards turn 1. Into turn 1 he goes. He throws the car through. And already heading down the next DRS zone with maximum speed. You can see reaching huge amounts of speed as he ends off sector 1 with a 15.940, which I've got to say is very, very strong. Already HRT have only scored 20 points this season. Maybe if they could get another 12. If they get another 12, they'll pull themselves up a place or two with the constructors if VEL don't score any points. But it could be up to, if they could get a podium here tonight, it'll be their first podium. I think it'll be another podium to their name. They haven't won yet. What's actually quite crazy is how a lot of these teams so far haven't won in their history. LR haven't won. HRT haven't won. Of course, last week, SKG became another team to win on the grid. So it is Baptiste with a 1 minute 4.1, but it is Cormac Hutton who goes to a 1 minute 3.617. Far, far better from himself. An incredible lap. A very good lap as Robbie only goes to a 1 minute 3.724, a little bit slower. Rob across the line, he's only gone P4. Not as good from himself there. To go slowest of them all is now Kevin Zunneberg. P2 slots in also with a 1 minute 3.7. Still not there entirely. I think we've got Eric. He's invalidated his laps at AMS, not looking too great off of their first runs. But we have got the Drivers' Championship leader, AMS Nardo, making his way around. This man has won a couple of races for AMS now. So, I'm faithful. I agree, I think you should. If definitely, Ryan. Definitely. Nardo, though, he's won a couple of races for AMS. I think he actually has the most wins out of anybody for AMS. And he's pushing here. Purple in the first sector. Not sure whether that's true or not. Let's see. Into the left-hander before he's going to hit it. Yeah, I know the game sounds very low. There's a reason that the game sounds very low. Is because I'd like you guys to hear me, potentially. But heading round, penultimate corner into the final corner now. He's just gone a bit too wide, and that would have been fastest by an absolute mile, by 4/10. That would have been fastest. But it's an invalidated run, and it's not a good start from AMS so far. I think Eric is on another run. He's not doing too bad. UFRT Deck, though, goes into a 3.6. Not too bad from himself there. very much not too bad at all. Very, very decent. We look now to Eric on his run. Where's he going to go? He goes fastest of all. Just about fastest of all. 1 minute 3.583. He finds just over 300ths of a second to go to provisional pole. Not too bad. Not too shabby at all. But Nardo is invalidated again, which is not too good for himself. I think there's Justy behind him, who is on a lap. As Nardo moves out of the way quite nicely. VL, 32 points this season. They need to score at least 3 points more for... They need to score at least 3 points more to get in front of UFRT. They need to score 3 more points than UFRT this race. But so far, not looking like it, because it is 3rd and 6th compared to 10th. And nothing at the moment for these guys. I think Nardo has invalidated again already. Not looking great for himself. Another invalidation there as well. I think we've got Kevin, who's on an out lap. Already out for another run in this session. So let's see how that goes. Let's see whether Kevin Zunneberg can make this work, or whether he will completely drop and lose it all. Let's see. EVR looking strong to come out of this final race of the season. They want to take that second in the constructors, of course. Money's on the line. £30 compared to £50, so it's a £20 increase if EVR for the second. But it's already an invalidation from Kevin Zunneberg, and that is his lap very much over and finished before it even really started. Marvin is the only, Marvin isn't the only other driver on lap. Harrison's also on a lap. He's pushing hard for XPG. They're needing some good points here tonight. Right up to the limit out of the final corner. And across the line, he does go up to P7. Actually stays where he was in the end. So no improvement necessarily there. You see Marvin, the only LR driver here tonight. Means in 4 chances to finish, they'll only have one. And that is Marvin to P6. Solid lap into the 0.7s as well. Lots of drivers going to the 1 minute 3.7s at the moment. Who else have we got on a lap? There's Robbie. Zunneberg just started another lap. Let's see how Zunneberg does on this lap instead. Let's ride on board with the McLaren for a little bit throughout his first and maybe his middle sector as well. Let's see. First sector, how's he done? He's up by exactly a 10th of a second, so absolutely perfect. Really good chicane there as well. A little bit of a slide off the exit, but really, really good so far from the EVR driver into turn number 4, throwing the car down the hill. Looking very good. Deniskas, by the way, just went P6. Another 1 minute 3.7 We're seeing a lot of those. Oh, and a little bit wide through there, though. Doesn't work. Nilu went P10, up by just over a 10th. This actually could send him, but he's gone wide, and he's invalidated. Can we get to the ASMR? Shut up, please. No. No. You're not getting it. Like, no. Just no. I just can't. Oh my god, and what was that from this man of Kevin Zunneberg? Absolutely bewildered with what I've just seen. I think we've got a couple of drivers on out laps and laps. There's Rob, who's currently on a lap. He's P12 at the moment. He needs to find at least 3 tenths to get into contention, or at least 4 tenths to really get in there. So let's see whether he's going to be able to. Because that's the whole problem, is that sometimes drivers don't fully get stuck in. Sometimes they're a little bit off, and we've seen that with XR8 for most of the season. They've gotten that, they've had that win this season. They've taken, a couple of wins this season. But they've taken 3 wins now in 2 seasons, but it's not been enough. As Rob goes to P8. As Eric goes fastest of all now to a 1 minute 3.419. As Yanez, SKG, back out on top. They want to take another 1-2. Provisional pole. They want to get back-to-back victories. They want to do what AMS have done and what no other team has done this season other than AMS. They want to get those back-to-back victories, and Yanez puts himself on that prime position of provisional pole for that chance. I think we look to Batiste making his way round, I believe, or the other one. What do you mean? And as you can see, Batiste went P7 with that lap. Sorry about having to try and invite people half the time, which is really, really frustrating me. Really, really frustrating me. Nardo, again, by the way, has once again failed to complete a lap. At the moment down in last, AMS looking at their worst qualifying performance this season. It's not looking too great. Of course, it doesn't hugely matter now, but this currently will be their worst season since season 1 for win-wise. 4 wins. But yeah, we've got some people being a bit annoyed that I cannot add them. But Kevin Zunneberg makes his way around. He's going to be going for another lap, I think. I think we've got quite a lot of drivers on laps. I think Nilu's on a lap as well. First sector, he's up by 10th and a half already in his first sector. That should send him up to about P11. But, yeah, Nilu, interesting season for SCT. They were the worst team at first. They've now become the better team. And I do apologise. These people just don't think, ever. People never seem to think of just being normal and getting their teammate to invite. Which is really, really gets on my nerve. It just gets on my nerves so much that some people just decide just not to join through their teammate. Nilu went P5 in the end, 4/10 quicker. Kind of ruined with the lap because some dumbass decided to not join before or have anything sorted. But SET, 3rd and 5th at the moment, they're looking incredibly strong. They're looking like the most consistent team on the grid. If they come away with that, it's all they need. It is really all they need. Robbie's up by almost 2/10 in the first sector alone, so he's looking really quick. That could send them to P4. I think we've got a real battle going on here. By the way, we've got 4 different teams in the top 4 at the moment. That could be joined by a 5th of XR8. 3/10 up now, pushing for possibly provisional pole, is what Robbie is doing. And now heading round into the final corner, through and across the line. Where's Robbie going to go? Robbie goes P2! 12 thousandths off of Yanez Mayboom, but it is P2, and that's now 5 different teams in the top 5. Starting to look a little bit more interesting than it was earlier. We always knew Austria was going to be incredibly close, but we didn't think it would be this close. And now Deck is down by 800ths in his first sector. We've seen drivers, they're finding lots of time. The track evolution really coming in heavily around this track. But even through all of that, it's still It is still not perfect for many. Sometimes it's still not enough. Heading round, I think we're going to see here, a bit of traffic might get in the way of Deck. He's down by 93 thousandths. That Aston Martin getting out of the way quite late. Quite late, to be honest. And ultimately, I think Deck is coming into the pits. Yes, he is. He's decided there's no point to go on that lap. Rob's already invalidated as well. Robbie's going for another lap. Cormac is on a lap. I'm trying to find somebody who is actually on a lap. But I think Cormac is the latest one. He was down by 8 thousandths in his first sector. So he's keeping up with his first sector at least. Which is the main thing, of course, is whether he can or can't keep up in the first sector. It's quite an important sector. Because if you find yourself a 10th down, most of the time that means you're pretty much out of it. And you should go again. Only 1 minute and 33 seconds left of qualifying. And up by a 10th in the middle sector, though, from Cormac Hutton. This would be enough. This wouldn't be enough to actually gain him any positions, but it will bring him a lot closer to the rest of the pack. Into the penultimate corner now. Into the final corner he goes. Decker's now retired from the session. He becomes the first retirement. First driver done with his lap. And Cormac Hutton goes fastest of all by 4 thousandths of a second to a 1 minute 3.349. And that is a spectacular lap from himself. As you can see, we've now got the man of Kevin Zunneberg making his way round. Is he on a strong enough lap? We will have to see as he crosses the line. Will he go and improve? Yes, he will. He will go to P5 to a 1 minute 3.4. Very good from himself there. Next is Batiste. Then I think we've got Milan, who's invalidated his lap anyway. Then we've got Nardo, who's also invalidated his lap. And I think he's invalidated his next one as well. Yes, he has. So Nardo will be finishing in last. And that's incredibly disappointing there for himself. Yanez is starting his lap. Who else is actually coming across the line? I don't know who's on a lap. Eric! Fastest of all now. Even quicker, 1 minute 3.343. And what a lap that was. Rob has just got P8. That's Cormac Hutton done. P2 is the best. 2 drivers finished now with their laps. Let's see. Deniska's also has failed. He's due to have braked too late. Nilu is done. Kevin Zunneberg is also done with his lap. Batiste is making his way around. Can he hold it together? No, he cannot. He's invalidated. He wasn't up anyway. And that's some disappointment there. That is Milan making his way around. Milan goes only P10. Not a good lap from himself. Yanez is up by 26 thousandths. At the moment, it will be enough. Will he go pole? Yes, he will! 1 minute 3.322 is the fastest lap set. And that is one hell of a lap set as well. And what a way to upset the order. Marvin goes P7. And that is a very strong lap from himself. Pesci could only go P14. Eric could only finish in P2. I think we've only got Rob coming round. And that will be it. And that is the end of qualifying. SKG take pole position in Austria. I think it's the 3rd time this season they've now taken pole. Maybe they're aiming for that back-to-back victory to close up to AMS in the Constructors. So, let me know in the chat, who do you think was the best driver in that qualifying? Who surprised you the most? Because if I'm being honest, I very much expected AMS to completely dominate here and take a 1-2. But P2 and P16 is not where you want to be in the grid. But looking through the order, let's have a look at it. Yanez is on pole, followed by AMS Eric, Cormac Hutton, Robbie, Kevin Zunneberg, Deniskas, Marvin, Nilu, Rob, and Deck, who end at the top 10. Then it is Milan, Batiste, Harrison, Pesci, Justy, and finally Nardo in 16th and last. The man who's won the most races for AMS this season, down in last. Let's see where this will go as we head into the race in the next couple of moments. Again, I do apologize for my absolute terrible voice. I was ill yesterday and today. I'm still ill now, but I'm still getting on with it. So, we'll be getting into the race in about 2 minutes' time. It's gonna be an incredible race because it's 36 laps. Yeah, it's 36 laps. 36 laps of this track. Lots of laps to go, a lot to do, a lot to see. Let's see how it will go in the race. 16 drivers, 10 teams. Let me know, who do you think is going to win this race? Will it be SKG to claim a second victory and a back of their season and a back-to-back victories, or will it be AMS to claim their 5th race win of the season and to, again, like last season, win at least 50% of the season? Or maybe, just maybe, will it be XR8 to claim their 4th ever win in FRLT? Could even be SET to take their 2nd as well. Who knows? It is really close. I mean, there's at least 6-7 drivers in this at the moment who could win. But we'll be going in the next couple of moments. Let's see. We'll be seeing in a couple of moments. Now it is 8:32. It is time to get racing in Austria. See how this will go. Again, I am ill, so if you're enjoying the stream, please think about subscribing and leave a like. Also click on the notification bell, because we've got so much content coming when F1 25 comes out. But for the final time, we'll be seeing something for one final time this season. For the final time in season number 4, we see the 5 red lights. And away we go here in Austria for FRLT Tier 1, round number 10 in season 4, the finale. Cormac Hutton's gotten a really good getaway and up already into P2. He's gotten away quite well from the rest of the grid. As you can see, now heading down towards the next couple of corners. As you can see, the man of Yanez under attack possibly from Cormac Hutton, who's on some pretty grippy tyres, it looks like. Rob making his way up. Quite a bit of chaos further back. Marvin battling with Rob as well. Milan up to 9th. Nilu down to 10th already. SCT not getting the start they needed. But the front 3 have gotten away pretty cleanly. And that's a good start for many other drivers so far. Nardo's already up to 14th. He's already claimed 2 positions. But there's a lot longer of this race to go. And I feel like the top 5 places are going to be the hardest to get to because of the top 5's pace. But Yanez is pulling away already with his lead, 3/10 of the lead of the race, away from Cormac Hutton for EVR and AMS Eric in 3rd place. AMS haven't finished on the podium 3 times this season. They've achieved 8 podiums altogether. That's the same as they did last season. So if they achieve 1 more podium, they will have more podiums than last season, but they will have currently less wins than they did last season. But the DRS is now activated. Here comes Cormac Hutton on the man of Yanez, fighting over 2nd in the constructors. Who is going to finish 3rd? Who's only going to claim the £30 prize pool? Who is going to claim the £50 prize? Who is going to get this? Is it going to be SKG or will it be EVR? Here comes Cormac Hutton again down the inside. Can he make the move? You can see Eric is trying to also make the move at the same time, but he's unable to get past. See further back, Nardo has now made his way up into P13 ahead of UFRT Deck. And that is a nice move made. And down the inside of Batiste. He's trying to get the move done. Can he get the move done? Yes, he does. Up to P12 he goes. And a solid overtake that he needed to make in tonight's race. From 16th all the way up 4 places in just 2 laps. Not too bad from the AMS driver himself, but it's going to become a little bit harder as he goes up the order. Now look at this. Cormac Hutton. Is he going to send it into turn 1? No, he's not. He's going to stay behind. He looked like he was going to go for it. Now heading down the next straight. Here comes a lot of drivers at Yanez. Here comes Cormac Hutton. He's going to take the lead of the race. You can see Eric's also in there, trying to battle his way up. He's into P2. But look at this further back. Kevin and Deniska's going side by side. Who's gotten who? And I think that is Deniska's up to P5 in this race. And that's a nice move made. But look at this. Eric takes the lead in Austria for AMS. They're going to lead even more laps this season. But what an overtake. And that's a move he needed to make. Now, as you can see, Eric leads away once again. AMS gunning for their 5th win of the season. They've only achieved 4 wins this season in 9 races. By this point last season, by the way, they already had their 5 wins. They won 5 races in 8. They won 5 in 8 races. They also had 6 podiums up to this point. Out of round 9, they had 7 podiums. They picked up their 8th and final podium. They've already got 8 podiums. Now Cormac Hutton goes to change the lead as he now moves up into the lead of the race ahead of Eric. But how long is that going to last? Because Eric is coming straight back at him. Is Eric going to take the lead? No, he's not. He's going to stick behind. And we're keeping it nice and calm a little bit further back in the grid order. But Yanez does not want to keep it nice and calm because he wants to get past Eric as soon as he can. Look at this side by side. Through the long left-hander into the next one. Eric still stays P2, but he's lost a little bit of time to the race leader. But that isn't a lot of time because especially with the triple DRS zones, basically does not matter by the end of it. But see, everybody's still within a second of each other at the moment from first to last after going on to lap 5 of this race. Eric gunning for the victory here in Austria. Oh, a big slide from Cormac Hutton. That's going to leave him weak as now Eric takes the lead of the race once again. And that is up into first. Here comes Yanez. Whoa, and a big tap on the rear from Yanez to the man of Cormac. But look at this, Robbie. He's making the move. He's trying to go for the podium. XR8 wants a podium here tonight. They've missed out on it for most of the season. I believe they only have 1 podium in their entire season, and that was their victory. Oh! And they've gone off! They've gone off into the gravel. And they've dropped down the order. Oh my god, look at that. Deck having to make emergency moves, but that is Robbie and Yanez off, and that is some chaos here tonight. And I don't know how. That was, oh. I said to you it was going to be close, but I didn't think it would be P3 and P4 taking each other off for the track into the gravel. But from what I saw, in my opinion, that is Robbie's fault. As now, Nardo has been able to make his way up to P7, and SKG now are going to lose all that they gained, and they're going to drop down to 3rd in the Constructors once again. Cormac Hutton trying to take the lead of the race, but Eric's giving him a little bit of a tough time there. Deniska's up to 3rd, by the way. That's going to bring. By the way, where SCT currently sit with those 15 points, if I'm correct, they will jump ahead of just XPG at the moment because they're 21 points behind XR8, so they will jump ahead of XPG, but nobody else. That's the only team they're going to jump ahead of, but at least that will be up another place to 5th in the Constructors for SCT. And look at that. Some problems for Eric. And he's disconnected. Eric has disconnected from the session. What is this going to do to him? And he's down. His teammates got him past him. Everybody's getting past him now. And that is going down the order. Down the order he goes. Even further and further. And that is not great for himself. I don't know why it is. I don't know why Eric complains about my Wi-Fi all the time. For some reason, it's fine for everyone else, but but not him. That's just his problem, to be honest. I'm kind of a bit sick of people saying it's my Wi-Fi when it's not. But hello, Isaiah. Welcome to the stream. Sorry, guys. I don't mean to be grumpy, but Deniska's, by the way, up into the lead of the race for a moment. The top three starting to get away a little bit more. But look at this. There's quite a bit of battling going on now between the top three. 3 wide as they head towards turn 4. Still 3 wide. EVR take the 1-2 for the moment. Marvin, though, fighting his way onto the podium. He's trying to fight his way at least onto the podium. LR taking some big points here tonight for the first time since, I think, round number 3, where they scored just 2 points. They've scored 12 points altogether this season. I cannot invite Eric because, sadly, the only reason I cannot invite Eric is because my list does not have pages. It only gives me the first 50 people, not the other 280. So sadly I cannot invite him. But he's always complaining about my Wi-Fi for some reason. It's never his. I'm sorry, it just gets me really annoyed when people say that. But here it goes again, more battling. Here comes Nardo down the inside. He's going to make it worse, actually. Marvin up to P3 now. Nardo is in a little bit of a problem. Look at this. Lots of battling. Whoa, and that's somebody round. And Yanez is up to 7th now. And that's somebody going down the order. That was the XR8 duo, who are absolutely just toppling down the order. Nothing's gone right for them. Milan as well is having a bit of a tough week as well. Fighting over 12th here. Not even fighting over big points positions. Cormac Hutton, though, got a penalty in the end. He's only got a 3-second time penalty, but everybody's on the hards except Pesci and Justy. But for the moment, EVR 1-2, massive points. I've literally said this. I cannot. The game doesn't give me the full list of friends, by the way. I do apologize. There's nothing I can do. The game doesn't give me the full list. There's no point in telling me you can't get in. You have a teammate. You have Nardo. You use Nardo. Please. Please. For once. It's really frustrating, this. Milan topples down to 14th now. One SKG driver. Having a great day. Now you should. Okay. If you don't, that's that. If you don't appear, that's that then. I cannot invite you. You'll be able to see on stream here. No, he literally not coming up. No. I cannot search. Okay, wow, okay. Yeah. Okay, yeah, multiple pages, eh? Multiple pages. Where's my option to do multiple pages? Yeah, no. There's no multiple pages, yeah. Yeah. Great idea. But as you can see, look at this chaos, though, happening here. Absolute chaos. XPG into the top 10. Batiste finding his way up to P6. Daniska's having a bit of a rough couple of laps now. He's dropped down the order. Yanez is back up into the top 5. You saw your... Okay, you saw yourself. Okay. Okay. Yeah, you're not there. You absolute melon, you're not there. Jesus Christ. I do apologize, guys. I can't do anything, but for some reason it's my fault. Yeah, for some reason, because the game is like this, you know. You know, my fault immediately. It's Nardo. Now it's trying to make a double overtake on EVR. Yeah, you did, but you're not there. But you're not there. Can't invite you if you're not there. So it seems, you know, it only ever seems to be you that has problems mid-race. So, you know, I'm sorry, Eric. It's true. It's like you're the only driver that ever seems to have problems with getting back in. But you know, so maybe it is just you. Maybe just possibility. Nardo making his way round now in the lead of the race once again. AMS lead away. Once again this week. Once again in another race they lead. Okay, you re-added me. Thing is, I don't see anything coming through. This just where have you re-added me on? It's because the game today is taking forever. The servers are not good. But Batiste, by the way, jumping up the order as Marvin drops down the order. Yeah, I think it's... Eric, I think it's partly because today, I think the server is having some problems today. Yeah, I know. It is a great game. Nobody else seems to have problems with my connection, but... You know... For some reason, no invites come through. Nothing seems to come through on this game after, like, a certain time. Or, I think I got a friend invite earlier on, and it was like, I think it was like 8-10 minutes after they actually sent it. So, I don't know what's going on today with it. Make sure you have added the PC one, the Steam one. Yeah. No, I agree. It's just garbage. But Marvin up to P8 now. On his return, he's trying to push hard as now Harrison's also trying to take P6. Trying to score XPG some decent points here tonight. Pull themselves back up into a chance. SS91. Hello. You can join the server, but you have to be in a team to race. And they have to choose you to race as well. But make sure to like and subscribe. I could definitely sort out the link and everything. We're all welcome Stream. It's raining. Okay. It is actually. It is slightly raining. Indeed. You are not wrong. It is raining. This is going to change things up because, of course, we saw rain was forecast. Is Pesci doing the ultimate strategy? Because at the moment, they're not going to be scoring any points. Are they going for the intermediate tyres early? Yes. Quite early for the intermediate tyres. Same as Justy as well. Both UFRT and VEL not on for points here tonight. So 2 teams out of the 10 not on for points. Which of course is not great. But looking to the leaders, Kevin Zunneberg leads away now from Nardo in second and Cormac Hutton in third, of course. But he's got that 3-second time penalty. Oh, it's a massive snap there. Is it the rain? I think it could be the rain now that's causing that. But his 3-second time penalty will send him outside of the top 10 indefinitely. I think it's kind of confirmed that he'd go outside of the top 10. Whoa, a massive sliding again. Lots of drivers sliding around. Batista's in. Got 4, 5 drivers now, and 6 drivers are now coming into the pits. Got a massive amount. Yeah, 6 drivers all in to the pit lane. We'll see whether Pesci has actually gained any time on the intermediates this lap, because I don't think he's gained enough time. But we'll see when he comes round, because if he comes out ahead of anybody, then he has. I think he's going to get in front of... He's got in front of Pesci. There we go. Now the invites come through. Holy Jesus. This game is... I cannot believe this game. This game is so stupid. It is actually so stupid. And again, it's put you where... It's put you as offline. Great. Oh, it'd be nice for once. Yeah, I know. You see what I mean by it takes so long. There you are. Now you've come up. But you see, you send it like 5 minutes ago. You could send it 5 minutes ago and it'll only come through now because the servers are absolutely crap today. They are really bad for the last couple of days. They've been terrible. DRS is disabled. Nardo's come in. Cormac's come in, Yanez, Rob as well. But where is Batiste going to come out? Because has he actually jumped all of these guys? There's no way. Batiste has jumped all of them. He's jumped Nardo as well. So will Harrison. He'll also get past Nardo at the same time. Nilu's come out in front of Cormac. But I don't think Cormac's going to be waiting to get past the SCT driver anytime soon. Nardo's already trying to get past Harrison for P5. Down the hill, they go into turn 4. You can see the man of Cormac's already made his way up into P7, so he's already gained a place. So that's a good start from him. Milan, by the way, has overtaken Deniskas. So everybody's coming in. Whoa, and another massive slide on the rear for Kevin Zunneberg. But yeah, these guys are going to come out way behind. Way behind. Yes, I will fix that now because the link is being dumb. Because the link's been dumb for a while for some reason. Every time I do this, it doesn't seem to do anything. If you stick around till the end of the stream, I will have the link in the description ready for you after the race is finished, or if there's a safety car, because my PC will explode otherwise. Deliska's still out there, by the way, on those tyres, but he's just losing hefty amounts of time. That's not going to help. That's really bad for him, because that's already down to 3.9. But officially, Batiste will lead this race, and will HRT take their first ever victory in FRLT. There is Deniskas. Down the inside goes Batiste. He has got Nardo all over the back of him. But even then, you've got to give respect to Batiste for taking the lead of this race. It's actually, by the way, these would officially be, if I remember correctly, the first laps led by HRT all season, and that is the first few laps led. Oh, somebody's down. That is the man of Cormac Hutton, who's hit the wall and has spun it round. It's down to 14th with a penalty. EVR's hopes and dreams disappearing, and with that front wing end plate hanging off as well and gone completely, actually. As now you can see Yanez makes his way up to P4 as Robbie's trying to follow through with it as well. But Nardo now, look at this. Whoa, and a little bit tasty there from these guys. But you can see Batiste still driving as hard as he can, unable to keep in front of Nardo. Nardo gunning for the Drivers' Championship. As it would stand, he would claim the Drivers' Championship by an absolute mile and become a champion in FRLT, Drivers' Champion in this league. Of course, next season there's big plans. It's said that, you know, for next season we have plans of a no assist tier. But from some things that I've heard, AMS don't want to be competing in the no assist tier. So AMS will stay in the assist tier next season. And now as you can see, Batiste holding on though to Nardo. I will say that he is holding on to Nardo at a decent rate at the moment. He's overtaken about a lap ago, but he is holding on. But at the moment, it's Yanez who needs to get past Harrison as soon as he can. We need to really make up those places, because he really does need to make up these places now. EVR's day has absolutely fallen apart. In all fairness, it has fallen apart. Here comes Yanez again, making a move now on Harrison. It's a big move on Harrison, and that's P3 for the SKG driver, aiming for another podium for SKG this season. Still gunning for that victory. 2 seconds, over 2.5 seconds to gain, is what Yanez needs to do now in this race. Still 14 laps to go. The laps have gone by rather quickly, but they are counting down. The drivers will be counting down to when this race finishes, and to how long has Yanez got to close up and to possibly race Nardo for the race lead. But Nardo would have done a last to first, which means for a second time this season, somebody would have done a last to first in a race, with SKG doing it as a team from the bottom 2 places to the top 2 places last race in Imola, to Nardo doing it here in Austria. It's not many times drivers have actually done this. I think it's only the 3rd time, I think, ever in FRLT somebody would have gone from last to first. I think it is the 2nd or 3rd time. So generally we're setting some records here for the seasons, but Yanez is slowly catching. He's close by about 4/10 this lap now, which is good, but it's not enough. He needs to be gaining a lot more time in all of this. He really does. Huge amounts more of time is what he needs to be doing right about now. But he just isn't doing it, and that's the problem, I think, for Yanez. He's not being able to close in enough. He's closed it down a bit more. See, down to 1.2 now. He's actually had a really good Sector 1. He's putting together a really good lap. He's only about 2 seconds off the lead. Nilu, though, battling over P6 in this race. SCT need the extra points. They want the extra points. XR8, though, really gunning for everything they've got. Milan coming alive in these wet conditions against Kevin Zunneberg. Milan's not been on it at all today. But Rob trying to go round the outside of Nilu. And he does. And that is the move. Did you in Bahrain? Did you go last to first? I can't remember. Generally, there's been too much. Too many things happen. Too many things. I will say one thing though. Nardo is not particularly doing well with keeping ahead of the man of Yanez, because the gap is coming down between second and third, but the gap isn't really growing between first and second. So for the moment, it's looking pretty interesting as the gaps are sort of starting to come down very slightly. But it's not enough at the moment. Rob gets a 3-second time penalties now. Nilu tries to get past Rob as he goes onto the grass and everything. As Milan is starting to climb up the order as well, by the way. Kevin Zunneberg gets P9 from Rob as well. So EVR, I think their hopes of taking second in the Constructors have kind of gone all the way. I'll have a look at that. But you might be right. You might be the third driver. It might be 3 drivers this season to do it. Who knows? Who knows? Nilu's under a lot of pressure at the moment. And that pressure is being applied by Kevin Zunneberg, who's trying to get P8 away from the SCT driver. And he does. And that is a strong move made. And up into 8th place goes Kevin. And will finally finish in 7th because of Pesci's penalty. So that's 6 more points for EVR this season, which isn't too bad. Isn't too bad at all. But Yanez has now closed up to the back of Batiste. He's waiting to make a move. We're just waiting for this man to actually make the move past Batiste for P2. But I do think Batiste is probably going to hold on to P3. So HRT will take, at least in the finale, they'll take a podium and claim a lot of points, because at the moment, here comes Yanez anyway, down the inside of Batiste. And that's a nice, easy move made. And into P2 he goes. He's 2 seconds away from Nardo. He's got 11 laps to close that. Let's see whether he's going to be able to do that. And he's already closing in by minute amounts. Already by a 10th he's closed in. But let's see whether he'll do it by the end of the race or not. But yeah, as I was saying, I think at the moment, if I'm correct, Pesci will go outside of the top 10. Yeah, Pesci. So Deck will score 1 point to make it 35. But because I'm trying to figure out who could go where. So I'm not sure right now who's going to go where. Very much not sure. We'll have to see at the end of the race anyway. Yanez Goatee. Yes, you are right. You are right. Yanez Goatee. Quite true to some degree. But let's see whether he can actually cross the line and win it tonight. We'll have to see whether he can or he can't. Nardo, though, leading this race. He's been leading it for quite a while now. But his gap is decreasing. He's lost another 10th in the last lap. That time is starting to come down bit by bit by a 10th or so every lap. But I think Nardo is just making little mistakes that's losing him maybe half a 10th here and there. You know, it's down to 1.8 now. It won't close in enough. You can see Pesci and Nilu into the pits. It's still raining. They've gone for a strange strategy. So officially now, Deck will get 4 points, which means, as it stands, HRT will not be scoring, will not be getting in front, but Nilu's gone to the wets, while Pesci's gone to the fresh set of inters, so that's just very strange. Right out next to Justy. I don't think Justy's really battling that, to be honest. He didn't really have to fight it, but maybe he will. Who knows? Down the inside he goes. He's still battling with Pesci in the end, but Pesci's so far behind, he will now finish probably P11. Unless the drivers change tyres. But Yanez, by the way, another 2 tenths closer this lap. That's a bit more of a chunk that you'd expect to see Yanez be closing. That's kind of what you want to be seeing. More like sort of about 2 tenths now this lap that Yanez has gained. So that's sort of what he needs now for maybe another... Do that for another 4 laps, you know, gain another 8 tenths, half that lap time. Down to 1.5, bit of a mistake from Nardo in the first corner. Drops him down to 1.5 seconds. And little bits of slipstream we caught by Yanez now, just little bits. Milan, though, up to 4th. You've got to give it to SKG, they're turning this around now. Because Milan is having a late race push up to P4. And SKG are once again going to be scoring the most points out of any team. They're going to be scoring another... they should be scoring another 30 points this race. Closing in the gap to AMS in the end. A little bit more, but down to 1.2, by the way. Nardo's making quite a few mistakes. He's really struggling on his tyres. It's down to 1.1. How has he lost half a second so quickly? Is Nardo having problems? Because I very much feel like he is having problems. Now, into the final corner. It's 1.1 seconds. Nardo's really struggling on his tyres. Because it's down to a second. It's almost down to a second. Sticking at 1.1 for now. Has Nardo just had a really tough lap? No, it doesn't look like he's had a tough lap. Because he's... The gap's still about the same. A bit of a mistake. If Yanez had done that corner right, I think we would have seen it go below a second. But Yanez might actually be in for a chance of winning tonight's race. I do think he's actually in the chance. The fact that he's half the gap between him and the leader within, you know, within the last 10 laps is incredible. I'm not sure where Nardo is losing time, but he's definitely losing time somewhere. Because he lost about another 10th this lap. And now it's below a second. It's just dropping below a second every so often. I think it's mid-corner. I think the lines that these two are taking are very different. You can see it's dropped a bit more. About a 10th and a half now in the last lap. A little bit closer. Yellow flag in Sector 2. That's gone green anyway. But look at how much more aggressive Yanez is on the final corner. He's now within a second, by the way. This could really change everything. Let's see who does turn 1 better the first corner. And it is Yanez. Yanez is looking much more aggressive and a lot faster. Overall, Batiste now sits 5 seconds away. But that podium is fading away because SKG might be taking a double podium here tonight. And closing up even more to AMS and the Constructors out of the final race. So AMS don't look so great in the end. Because look at the gap. It's down to just 2... It's down to below half a second between first and second. The battle for the win is on. Milan is into 3rd. And this is perfect. This is perfect for SKG. Another 2 podiums their season. Cormac Hutton retires from the race now. Feeling, well, knowing that points were not really an option. I think it's the same for Eric as well. I think he knows points are not going to be an option for him here tonight. But who knows? At the moment, though, we got to look to Marvin. P10 had a better qualifying, though, but P10, and he's on for 2 points as long as he can keep within 3 seconds of Rob. But I mean, 2 points. It's sort of, what is it? 7 races. This is not what you expect to see from LR, especially for them scoring, I think, just over 150 points last season. Yeah, I do agree. EVR looked good at the start of the race as well. They took 1-2, and I was thinking maybe that P2 in the Constructors is back on, but SKG firmly have it within their grasp. And they firmly got the victory within their grasp. Yanez took pole, took that point for pole position, and he bolstered SKG's stats this season. And he wants to go for that second victory, score an extra 7 points for SKG here tonight. Close in on AMS a little bit more. Get that second win. Really show that they are getting closer to AMS in performance. Because now Nardo is under attack for that position of P1 and the lead and the possible win. As we're now coming down to the last couple of laps. 4 more laps of this race to go. Let's see. 5 whole laps left. But it is coming down, and Yanez is aiming for the lead of the race. He wants that lead of the race. He knows he can get the lead of the race. He's just waiting for the perfect moment. We've seen Nardo is struggling in these wet conditions, and SKG have completely capitalized on it at the moment. Not so much of a good exit. Drop back a little bit, but closing straight back up. But again, I think SKG, at the moment, they're going to surpass 200 points. And become, by the way, the first team since CRE other than AMS. They'll become the first team since CRE to score over 200 points in a single season. Nobody else has scored over 200 points in a 10-race season other than AMS. But this race, I think they know that they've got a 9th podium. I think they know that they've got a 9th podium. They're going to beat their total podiums from last season. But I don't think they have the... I don't think they... You know, they're not... I don't think they're going to walk away with a victory. Because look at how Yanez is now going for Nardo. Is he going to go for it? He's just waiting. He's waiting behind. His teammate is catching. Milan down to 4 seconds now. Milan is catching at a crazy rate. Down to 3.8. Milan might actually catch up to them by the end of the race. Let me check something. Tyres. Milan's on 1 lap younger tyres. So maybe that's why he's got a little bit of extra grip. Maybe that's why. Penalties, quite a lot of penalties, but in the lower grid, top 5 clear of penalties at the moment. But this is really where we watch it. But look at this, Milan, 3.2 seconds now. He's found incredible pace. He's really found incredible pace now. He is just reeling in the leaders. He might even be able to reel them in by the end of this race. As now Robbie gets a 3-second time penalty, which means he's definitely out of the chance of P4. And the battle now for P5 will begin. Yeah, I think it's probably because... It's possibly because Nardo has gone low wings and he has gone for the dry pace because he started 16th and last. I think he's possibly gone for that better pace somewhere else. And now we can see the man of Eric doing some drifts in the middle sector and into the final sector. Look, whoa, Yanez. Getting a little bit uncomfortable there. Eric gets another 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. But as you can see, Milan now below 3 seconds. 3 laps of this race remain, by the way. Going to be going on to the penultimate lap. Next lap. But we'll be seeing. Yeah, it is. I think it's possibly... There's a chance that it's impossible. There's a chance. But he's making a couple of mistakes. And really, as a driver at this point, you don't want to be making these mistakes. I think the low wings... I think that's the only thing. But I think the thing that Yanez has on his side is he's got slipstream. Which kind of slipstreamed a bit more, I think, ERS. And he's got that cornering speed. And I think because he can brake so much later, I think Yanez is gaining from the braking so much later. And the slipstream, of course. He's gaining a lot from the slipstream, I think. It's keeping about equal. But we'll have to see. Because he's really close. And we could be looking at a second SKG win this season. And back-to-back victories. You know, only the second team this season to achieve 2 wins or even back-to-back victories. So, let's see. Nardo's gotten a good exit though. Is it enough? I have to see Rob battling over P7 here. He's having a bit of a battle. We've got Rob and Robbie. Specifically got to remember that. But we've got to look to the lead. Onto the final lap they go. There's a dry line. Yanez is just 6.5 tenths behind. Can he reel in the race leader enough? Can he do it just about enough to bring himself back into the chance of winning this race. He's going to have to do something drastic on this final lap. He's going to have to do something really drastic. And do something very different. Because so far, he's not found the time. I think at the moment, it looks like AMS are going to be achieving that 5th win of the season. And achieving that 9th podium of the season as well. Still, they're still yet to achieve the same amount of podiums as races in a single season. But we've still got to wait and see. Will Nardo make a mistake into the final couple of corners or not? Will he or won't he? Is the big question. No, he won't. Nardo will win in Austria for the final race of FRLT Season 4 TL1. And what a victory it is for AMS, a 5th of the season. And a nice one. But SKG follow with another double podium. 4 podiums in 2 races now. 100% podium rates in the past 2 races. They're absolutely on top of things. Comes down to that. Batiste achieves the best finish for HRT this season. P4. Far ahead of Rob. Which should keep him safe. Which means at least he's going to be scoring 12 points for them. And bringing them to 32 points. Robbie and Rob. P5 and P7. 16 points there for them. To over 100 points. Harrison as well gets a nice 8 points in the end. What a finish for some of these guys. What a finish. We gotta give it to them. What a finish. But yeah, as you can see, AMS on top for the 5th time this season, which is pretty crazy. But let's look at this last to first for Nardo. What a day for him. And it is the 3rd of the season. 3rd driver to do it. Yanez is 2nd. Milan is 3rd. With then Batiste 4th. And Robbie in 5th. Then it's Harrison in 6th. Robin 7th. Kevin in 8th. Deck in 9th. And Marvin in 10th. Followed by Pesci in 11th, Nilu 12th, Justy 13th, Eric in 14th, Deniskas in 15th, and Cormac Hutton with the only retirement of this race. So, in the end, with all of that, it's an interesting end to the season. Nonetheless, it's a very interesting end to the season. I will do... we might see if we want to do some interviews. Maybe. Yanez, we'll have to see. If he did get taken out by somebody, then fair enough. Like, what a climb through the field. But we'll have to see. Let's see if we can get some interviews with some people. We're going to do interviews with the top 3 in the constructors. Let's get Adam... let's get Soy. Also, I don't know. I'll speak to the teams. Basically. When I have the time, I will speak to the teams about it. Basically, I'll speak to you guys personally in DMs and just. Like I said, I will discuss with you guys when the prize money will be given out, because it will be, if I remember correctly, it's later on in the month. But yeah, we're gonna get some people in a second. Whenever people feel like joining, we'll find out whether anybody knows how to or when to. Let me just sort this out first. So yeah, so we're gonna get everybody in now. If let's see if EVR are alive for anybody to be ready to talk for the team at all or not. Probably not. Great. That's fine. So we'll bring in. Hello to you two. Hello. I brought both of you in.
Hello.
I'm in here too.
Yeah, celebrations.
Yeah.
How does it feel to get second in the constructors after quite a long season?
I mean, definitely did not expect it to finish in the top 3, to be honest. We just started this team. This is the first season we raced in FRLT. This is our first season we raced in any competition, really. And yeah, I mean, we just performed. We had good drivers, and we continued getting good drivers and just kept the consistent form going. And yeah, all of our drivers basically cook in the race. Most of them don't qualify well, and they do well in the race, like Milan today, for example. And really helped us out. We just kept it clean throughout the entire season, kept it consistent, except for the first part. I'd say we struggled there a bit, but after we got some stronger drivers in the team, really started performing well. So that was definitely crucial for the top two to get that top two in the championship. And yeah, GG's to EVR as well, because they pushed us all the way. At one point this race, I thought we were going to lose it. So yeah, in the end though, the rain kind of saved us because the pace was just amazing there. So yeah.
One thing is, I think before like sort of round 5, I wouldn't say you guys were really competing for, I'd say top 4, top 5 in the constructors, because you had a bit of a slow start to the season.
Yeah.
What have you sort of done that's caused you guys to now get a win, have 4 podiums, like have in the last 2 races, this race and the last, have 100% podium rate? What have you guys done?
I mean, it's just been just signings, really. I mean, at the start of the season, obviously the team was brand new then. We had many new drivers, and obviously as a new team, you can't immediately get the best drivers, so you struggle a bit there. And yeah, after we just kept going and got some good results in competitions like FRLT and also in other competitions, that kind of improves the team's reputation, and then we can sign more drivers. The team becomes more attractive in general, and it's just been signing better drivers that really made the difference in the end. If you look at the lineups, for example, at the start of the season, they were completely different than what they were now. Completely other drivers, and definitely more skilled drivers as well. So that's really what made the difference there.
One final question. Do you feel like for next season you guys are going to dominate all 3 tiers? Do you think you guys are gunning for the championship and everything?
Wait, so 3 tiers: force, tier 1, and no assist.
Yeah, and 4s.
No. uh, no assist, I would probably say no. I mean, we still struggle a bit with no assists, so that will be difficult. But of course, we'll try our best. I think I don't know which teams are going to sign up. It depends which teams will sign up. But a top 5 would be good, but it really depends on which teams sign up. Tier 1, I would definitely like to be up there with AMS fighting for the title. That would definitely be very nice, and we're definitely looking to push them all the way as well. Definitely looking to get that title. And for Force as well, I mean, I don't know if AMS are going to sign up for Force, but we got back-to-back wins in force. Debut win, won the next race, and I believe he got a podium last week as well, but don't take my word for it. But yeah, Force has been really good when we signed up, so I would definitely consider us to be one of the top contenders as well for Tier 1 as well. No assists, I'm not sure yet. We'll have to see. Depends on the teams, depends on our drivers as well at the moment, but we're lacking a bit there at the moment, so yeah.
Yeah, fair enough. You know, we've got TF10 incoming, but no, I'm kidding. Yeah, then you're gonna have a challenge. But no. Ultimately, thank you guys for joining us across this incredible season, and can't wait to see you again. Thank you for joining me for this interview, and hopefully I'll see you soon.
Yep, thank you very much.
Yeah, good night.
So, it is now time to interview the team that has won the Constructors, that has been all dominant. It is AMS, and we are interviewing Sasoy. Hello, Sasoy. I don't think I've ever spoken to you over a voice chat, but welcome to the interview box. And how do you feel with the victory here tonight?
Well, all I have to say, recently I have not been the most active in AMS. I've got other stuff going on, but yeah, pretty happy, of course, with the win tonight. Yeah, after we won the championship last race, we always want to end it on a nice way, and I think ending it like this is always fine. Either if we didn't score a win, I think no one would have been as upset. Maybe if we get crashed out, maybe a little bit more, but yeah, just fine to end it in whatever way. Not gonna lie.
Yeah. I have to say, just like last season, you guys have won half the races for the moment, of course. Before any penalties, I don't want to jinx it, but ultimately, you guys have actually had more podiums this season than you did last season, and you've got the same amount of wins. Would you say this season has been better, or would you say it's sort of, you feel like you've just sort of improved in some places, and that's why you're a little bit further sort of ahead?
No, I feel like we did mostly equal compared to last season. At the start, of course, we weren't really looking. The first three races, I do remember. Well, aside from round one, where I got like I think a P2 and P4, but by pure luck for penalties, it was like Zandvoort or something.
Yeah.
We weren't really there also because drivers, we weren't really into it. Then, as more as we went forward, maybe people as well sorted themselves out with life. Maybe they had problems, and we sort of came back to having more competitive standards, which it's always the goal. And yeah, if people have problems, as it happened, I think in the first few races, it can happen to have bad results. But yeah, in general, I think we didn't make a step forward, neither backwards. We stayed the same, which was enough this season. Even if EVR and SKG did put up a fight, especially by the end, the gap was slightly shrinking at some point, and we're like, we're gonna lose this or not. So yeah, but then at the end we did manage to get it. I think though next season, well, of course, being a new game is gonna be a totally different thing, and probably teams will improve and teams will go backwards. Currently, I don't know how we are looking for 25, but yeah, definitely this season was, I think, equal compared to the last one. Always struggles at the start and sorting ourselves out.
Yeah.
And then we'll see next season. Maybe we go the other way around, or we just keep the trend going.
Well, on about next season, do you guys feel confident that maybe a fourth title in a row, maybe do the absolute impossible?
Well, look, as far as I know, from driving the beta, which I've driven past few weeks, I mean, we did look kinda strong in some parts, weak in some others. So then again, it's a beta; it's not a definitive game, and as of course you go into a new game and the beta doesn't tell anything about it. So you can be there, be doing really well in the beta and being total garbage all of a sudden, or being total garbage in the beta and going fine. For what I can think, I think we are gonna be in the fight like always. But then again, I don't know the level of the others, if SKG, EVR, or even XR8, if they are signing up
Yeah.
for next season. I think it's gonna be a nice fight again with them, and maybe maybe get some outsiders, maybe from I don't know HRT, that get someone to be really fast in the team. Would be also really nice to have between fighting with us. But yeah, generally speaking, I think we are gonna be at the top. I don't really see us in a certain position like first or second, but yeah, generally speaking, looking always forward to be at the top.
Ultimately, thank you so much for joining me here in the interview box. Also, well done on dominating F1 24 here in FRLT. 3 seasons of winning this is just dominance. If I'm correct, it would be 16 victories in those 3 seasons. So in the total of 33 races. So very, very good. Thank you so much. And hopefully I'll see you very, very soon.
Yeah, me as well. I've uninstalled the F1 game already a little bit earlier this year, but yeah, hoping to see forward on 25 and racing there, because 24 I can't be bothered anymore.
Yeah, me neither. I day one I couldn't be bothered.
Yeah, safe.
Yeah, see ya. Bye.
Bye.
So ultimately, that is season 4 finished. It's done. We've had 19 races across Tier 1 and 4s, 10 races for Tier 1, 9 races, sorry, 4 4s. We've had so many race winners. I'll just go through all of the teams that have actually won this season, by the way, because I just want to point out just how many teams have won from each tier. We've had AMS have won. We've had SKG, EVR, XRA, XPG, SET. So, in Tier 1 we had 6 different teams win from Tier 1. 6 different teams have won a race this season. In Tier 1, 6 teams. And in 4s, we had 5 teams. We had 4 teams that won there. So, altogether 10 teams. No, not different teams, but still possibly the same teams, but still all together. Absolutely crazy. We actually had 7 teams in total that won. 8 teams, across the season. So 8 teams, 2 tiers across, I think it's about 13 teams. So what an incredible season. What an absolute incredible season it's been. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed it. Please think about subscribing, leaving a like. Also, click on the notification bell to know about all the content we're going to be doing from shorts, videos, and streams. And I will see you very soon for Season 5, where we will be going to F1 25, the new game coming out at the end of the month. Make sure to go get it. But just before I go, big thanks to our affiliate, SimRacing Centre, who will be luckily joining us for next season, once again, as our affiliates. Also, big thanks to everybody who helps in the Discord server, everybody who helps me with everything. Thank you so much to all of you guys. Thank you so much to you guys who come and watch the streams and subscribe and like and watch everything. Thank you so much. The season's been absolutely incredible. Also, make sure to go follow us on Twitter for all of the news. So all of the news now that we're going to have about next season is going to be going out onto Twitter. So make sure to go and look on Twitter. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you very soon. Bye.